What's up, everybody? It's Cam again, back at it with another video. I've been really excited about this one actually because this is something that I've been looking forward to for about 4 or 5 months at this point that I've been doing a lot of research on, and now I have the time and the resources to be able to actually pull the trigger on it and purchase it. So today, I'm sure you know because of the title of the video, but I'm going to be talking about the American Defense Manufacturing Lower and why I think you should purchase it and why I think it's an awesome lower and it's worth every penny. And just some features about it as well, and kind of my experience that I have had shooting this thing because I've shot a little bit, not a lot. It's more of an initial impressions than anything else, because I don't think I'm definitely not qualified to review a product that I've only put 150 rounds through. I feel like once you get to the 1,000 round mark, then you should be a little bit more qualified to talk about how this thing actually performs. But I will say, for that 120 rounds, very well, and I was really surprised because of the features that I've never used before. But anyway, so why did I purchase the American Defense Manufacturing Lower? So pretty much I got this in a complete set with your stock, grip, trigger, all the internals, all that fun stuff. It was all complete for about $900, which in my opinion that $900 is worth it just because of everything that you get with it. So I do believe in like a buy once, cry once type of mentality and philosophy. I think when it comes to weapon parts in general, you should always do your research on something. You shouldn't be spending a absolute like shit ton of money on something if you haven't researched it. And this is a pretty penny. It's $900. So I wanted to make sure that I did a bunch of research. And from what I found and what I wanted to do with this rifle, is I wanted to go with ADM just because of the features and the quality and everything. So that's kind of why I went with it. I saw plenty of reviews about it on YouTube. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was awesome. I thought it looked dope too. So I was like, I'm going to pull the trigger on it. I'm going to get it. So kind of getting into the features about the American Defense Manufacturing Lower. First and foremost, this is an ambidextrous lower. So why do people care about that, right? Because you can take a $60, $70 Anderson lower, put a really good trigger in it. You can do a bunch of cool stuff with it. But the thing is, it's a little bit more expensive to get an ambidextrous lower. I believe the cheapest one that I know about is a Silencer Co. one. That one's a pretty decent one, but I wanted something that was top notch, really good quality, and also had a lot of features out of the box. But anyway, this is a fully ambidextrous lower. So kind of going down the list, we have the mag release, which is awesome because it's a lot bigger, so it's a lot easier, especially when you're under pressure or you have gloves on, for you to actually be able to hit the mag release and then, drop your mag or do whatever you're trying to do. Of course, that is ambidextrous, so it does work on both sides. So when you have your left hand, you can release the mag. And this one is awesome too because it's also enlarged. Everything on this lower is a lot bigger, which allows for easier actuation of the controls and being able to manipulate the firearm. So it's very cool. It's awesome. Very easy to release. I will say this full disclaimer. I do not have much experience shooting with my left hand. I'm right-handed. So I'm training around that to shoot more with my left hand and kind of do transitions and all that fun, super tactical shit that you see a bunch of YouTubers do. And a bunch of people who have done real shit do because they know what they're doing. Same thing with, a lot of those other guys too. They've put plenty of rounds through and they know how to shoot a gun and they know how to shoot them very well. And that's one thing that I'm working on to better increase my skill level, right? Which is the whole point of all this stuff. So another thing down the list is we have the bolt catch and the bolt release, which is absolutely awesome. I will say this, it does take a little bit of getting used to. So traditionally on a regular AR-15 lower, you will see that the bolt catch is going to be around this area. And of course, this thing is larger than a regular bolt catch. It's awesome. The bolt release is also a lot bigger. So when you lock that bolt back, it's very easy if you're shooting from your left hand to actually send that and chamber around in your rifle. So it's really nice. It's awesome. It allows for a lot easier use, especially when you're under a lot of stress or a lot of pressure. At least when I was doing my shot timer stuff, it was easier for me to do my reloads and all that fun shit. So, yeah, and same thing on this side. Now, this is really cool. I will say this does take some getting used to. And the placement of it, of course, is perfect. It's awesome. Unless you have, like, really big hands or really small hands. I have medium-sized hands. I'm not a big dude. So, yeah, this does take some getting used to. So when you release the bolt back, or you send the bolt back, you just pull up on this, and then, it keeps the bolt back there. This is really good for, like, clearing malfunctions and all that fun stuff, which is important. And then also, when you're reloading a magazine, you don't have to go on the left side of the rifle, which you will see a lot of people do, and then slap that. You don't have to do any of that. You can just do it directly with your right hand. You reload that, you put that mag in there, drop the bolt, and you're good to go. You're hot again. So, yeah, really awesome. Does take a little bit of getting used to. I will say, just doing dry fire and stuff like that around the house, it's been a lot easier for me to understand and get used to it and used to the feel and all that stuff. So, yeah, also this, of course, is a cleared weapon. Safe. So, if anyone has any concerns, there's no ammunition in this rifle. There's no ammunition around me. For 5.56 at least. I have a 9mm Glock over there. I got a Glock 19, so, of course, that's always loaded, ready to go. But that's a video for another day. So, going down the list some more, we have the Radiant Talon Safety. This thing is fucking awesome. I love this. I'm used to the 90-degree throws, and compared to that is so much easier and so much better. And in my opinion, I think it's a lot safer. Just because of that shorter throw, it's a lot easier for you to actually put that weapon on safe, as opposed to with like a 90-degree safety. It takes a little bit more work to actually do it. You might have to manipulate the firearm a little weirder. Of course, that all depends on your hand size and stuff like that. But I love it a lot. I think it's really good. It's ambidextrous, so you do have it on both sides. It is a little stiff, but, it still works. It's still awesome. I think it's absolutely amazing. The only issue that I have with it is when I did try shooting with my left hand, because this side is so much further out, or the left side. It's a little bit longer. It will make contact with your hand. It's not a really big deal, but this is just kind of me nitpicking at this point. So, weapons on safe. So, as I talked about earlier, sorry about that. This lower is pretty much set up straight out of the box. So, what does that mean? It comes with your pistol grip, comes with your stock, safety selector, or safety trigger, which is awesome. And, the furniture that it comes with is just, in my opinion, it's pretty good for what you get and what you pay for. So we're going to start with the stock. So this is the Magpul SL stock. I've never used one of these before this, but this thing is absolutely amazing. I love this stock. There's very little wobble. There's little play with it. It's not like a cheaper lower where there's going to be a whole bunch of movement and stuff like that in the stock, which makes it a lot easier to shoot, at least for me. And it's a lot easier to get behind this LPVO to be able to deliver accurate fire. So I do like it. I do want to experiment with some BCM stocks, just because I hear they're really good, and might as well. Fuck it, why not? So this thing is really good to go. Now to the grip, you have the Magpul MOE grip. So Magpul, it's fine. This grip is alright, but the thing is, I'm starting to learn more about grips that have more of a steeper curve on there, or a steeper angle in terms of the rifle. So it's a little bit more, I would say, parallel. It's more of like a 90-degree angle, or a little less, obviously. But I do think I'm going to change this out in the future, just because it's a lot easier on your wrists. It's a lot more natural to grab, and I'm starting to have a pain in my wrists. I'm a boxer, so I got to look out for that. And yeah, and keep all that stuff keep my hands safe, make sure the mitts are good and everything. But it is good. You do have a little compartment right here, so you can store like a cleaning kit. Oh shit. You can store like a cleaning kit or some Skittles or fucking Smarties in there, or whatever you might need. I do have one of these on my first AR-15 that I actually ever purchased. Same grip, except it is a FDE grip. But it's a fine grip nonetheless. The texturing is awesome. I like the texturing a lot. And yeah, it's pretty good. So next, now this is one of the most important parts when it comes to accuracy, is your trigger pull, right? You can be incredibly accurate with a regular mil-spec AR-15 trigger. And before this lower, I had never actually used anything other than a mil-spec AR-15 trigger. I've never been big on changing out triggers. And I will say the Geissele G2S trigger that is included with this lower is absolutely amazing. It is a 2-stage trigger. It feels so much better to actually be able to pull the trigger, and I will say it's very easy to deliver accurate shots. This is a 2-stage trigger. So what that means is when I did my research, is that there are 2 parts to the actual trigger pull. So you have your first stage here, which is about a 2 to 3 pound pull. Oh shit. Try that again. I'm trying to be like Grand Thumb. So you have about 2 to 3 pounds, and then you get to that second stage, which takes about a 1.5 pounds to 1.75 pounds to actually be able to pull the trigger. I don't have an actual measuring tool here to measure the actual weight of it, but it feels really good. I really recommend that if you just are running a basic mil-spec trigger and you're kind of looking for something new, Geissele G2S. This trigger is about $130 MSRP. I'm going to do a video on this separately because I feel like this trigger does need to be talked about and have its own separate video and how I feel about it and how much easier it is to shoot faster. And the reset on this is amazing too. I can see why people who want to shoot faster, people who shoot competition, would go with something like a Geissele trigger. It is absolutely awesome. It is one of the best improvements to the shooting experience that came with this lower. So it comes out to be about a 4.25, 4.75 pound pull total. That combines both of the stages, of course. So yeah, I love this trigger. I think it's amazing. It's just like, it's orgasmic pulling this fucking trigger. It just makes me feel a certain kind of way. It gets me all excited and warm and fuzzy inside. So yeah, so that's pretty much it when it comes to like the stuff that they put on it. These are just some other features I'm going to talk about. Then we're going to get in the specs and like the weight and all that fun shit. So this does have a ADM HD buffer in it. This is a very smooth cycling gun. The recoil impulse is amazing. I think it's the best rifle that I've ever shot, and which really isn't saying much because I've only shot about 15 different rifles. But this one is very smooth. So I do like it. It's 10 positions, which is awesome for me just because I will, or the buffer tube is 10 position. So it's easier to make those finer adjustments and stuff like that. And instead of, I believe most buffers are about 6 position. So this is definitely an amazing improvement because it allows me to get a better adjustment to where my face is to meet the eye relief for my LPVO, which is very interesting. And I will say this, if you do get a higher mount, or if you have a higher height mount for your optic, especially in LPVO, I'm going to purchase a cheek riser for this because trying to shoot in the prone and then shooting sitting down is weird through this thing because the optic is so high up and you can't get as good of a cheek weld. I talked about that in my first video, but anyway, I digress. I'm rambling now. Another thing that's pretty decent too is there is a QD end plate, so you can attach your sling right here if you so choose, which is really cool. I kind of ran this when I first got this rifle, or this lower, and I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't I'm not a big fan of it, but I know it's a lot of people like it and they prefer it that way. Me, I'll just leave mine on the stock, or I'll just tie it in the little holes right here. I'll loop it in. But yeah, so that's there if you want it. And then there's also adjustment screws to adjust the tension between the lower and the upper. I haven't used it just because this is a BCM upper, 14.5 inch pin and weld. So comes out to be 16.1 inches above the legal length, making this a rifle. And it barely has any play. To be honest, I don't think I'm going to mess with it. And when I was doing my research, that's when I actually found out there was an adjustment screw for it. But yeah, so this is really cool. I love it. Some more things about it. This is made out of 7075 billet aluminum. Now, the difference between billet and forged receivers is that billet, they pretty much take a solid block of aluminum and they cut out the actual receiver. With forged, I believe it's a process of like kind of how they make holsters where they kind of push it all together and all that shit. And it's interesting because with forged receivers, they're actually a little stronger than billet receivers. Now, from the research that I did, billet receivers are still very reliable, very strong, and the difference in strength is almost negligible. But that was one thing that kind of kept me from going to a billet receiver for a minute, is just because of that little reduction in strength. But it does allow you to have a lot cooler designs like what you have on this bad boy right here. So, and this is a beautiful lower. It's amazing. I love it. I love the look and everything. So yeah, it is billet if that's something you don't like. I mean, this thing's already been thrown around quite a bit and I haven't had any issues. Still works, which it should. But yeah. So, and this does weigh about 2.25 pounds or 2.5 pounds unloaded. You know, weight's not gonna, if you're hiking around in the mountains doing cool shit, or you're going around through the desert looking for people, you know, you're gonna care about your weight. But me, I'm a civilian. If weight's a problem for you to lug this thing around, do some push-ups, go to the gym, take some creatine, you'll be good. So, yeah, weight's been negligible for me. But yeah, I will say this lower is absolutely amazing. It's worth every penny. And like I said, I have no doubt in my mind that this is going to be a very reliable lower. I will let y'all know after I put about 1,000 rounds through it, of course, how I feel and my whole experience with it. But so far it was amazing. When I went to go zero this optic, the trigger was helping me with my accuracy, because I had like a 200 meter zero. And it's amazing, guys. It's smooth. I recommend this thing for anybody that's looking for a new lower or a complete lower. It's absolutely amazing. I love it. It was worth every penny. And especially if you just want one lower, you can just get one of these and make sure that you either SBR it or you only get rifle length barrels and stuff like that, and make sure you're following your state, federal, and local laws when it comes to this. You know, make sure you're putting the right stuff on the right things. But yeah, this thing is absolutely amazing. I recommend it for everybody. So yeah, awesome. I really do appreciate you guys watching this. You know, it means a lot. I was actually really looking forward to this video just because it gave me an opportunity to talk about a product that I was really excited about. So this is me kind of just sharing my excitement with everyone here, if you're watching. But I do strongly recommend this. I think it's worth it. You should definitely buy it if you're in the market for it, and do a little bit more research. Don't just watch my video. Watch other people's videos about it. You know, just because I say something's good, it might not work for you. You might think it's stupid. You might not want ambidextrous controls if you want, if that's what your desire is. But absolutely amazing. I love it, guys. I appreciate you guys watching again. I love y'all. Be safe.